Breaking news and trending talk. This is 101.7 FM and 710 Keel. KEEL, Shreveport.
The Obamacare debate is back. Lisa Brady, Fox News. This time, it's part of a tax debate. Fox's Jared Halpern live on Capitol Hill.
A provision to the Senate tax bill repealing the health care law's individual mandate is the source of a lot of back and forth at the Senate Finance Committee.
So it's not like these people aren't going to get sick anymore. This is such a scam.
Missouri Democrat Claire McCaskill says middle-class families will pay the price by paying higher health insurance premiums. Republican Chairman Orrin Hatch says the mandate is a burden on families, forcing them to buy expensive health insurance.
I think we can all agree that the individual mandate is a tax.
The health care provision is not part of a House bill expected to get a vote tomorrow. Lisa.
Thanks, Jared. A second attempt by Democrats to impeach President Trump.
We have taken this action because of great concern for our country and our Constitution, our national security, and our democracy.
Tennessee Congressman Steve Cohen, lead sponsor of a bill that lists 5 charges against the president, including obstruction of justice for firing FBI Chief James Comey and undermining freedom of the press. House Democratic leader Nancy Pelosi has cautioned against impeachment bills, at least while the Russian meddling investigation runs its course. The State Department defending a contract awarded to a Russian firm to guard the U.S. Embassy in Moscow after Russia cut the number of American personnel there.
Reports in a Russian business daily publication claim that Elite Security was founded by ex-KGB spy Viktor Budanov and is currently run by his son. The State Department said in a statement that it had vetted the company and the name of each individual identified or associated with the firm.
Fox's John Decker at the White House, just getting word that the head of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, appointed by President Obama, Richard Cordray, plans to resign at the end of the month. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Have you heard of property tax lien certificates? Robert Kiyosaki and President Trump have written books on this fixed double-digit rate investment. Don't outlive your money. Protect your IRA from volatile markets. Invest in municipal-issued fixed rates. Call Cornerstone, a professional tax lien trading firm. Call 800-222-INFO. 800-222-INFO. That's 800-222-INFO.
Have pain you can't ignore? Then try first-in-class relief from Salon Pass. Salon Pass pain relief patches have everything you need in one clinically proven solution. They're the strongest label pain reliever available without a prescription, safely relieving pain for up to 12 hours. And Salon Pass is the first and only FDA-approved OTC topical pain reliever. For first-in-class relief, get Salon Pass pain relief patches in the green box with a blue wave.
The Keel app is brought to you by Office Furniture Source. Download the app today. Keel. The Keel Morning Report. Now on 101.7 FM and 710 Keel.
The Shreveport Council votes no on the resolution calling for a no confidence vote on Police Chief Alan Crump.
I believe that she will hold this chief to the highest standard.
Councilman James Fleury was one member to vote for that resolution, though he did say he needed more time. The vote was 3-2 against passing it. Employees at Top Gain schools getting bonuses. Matt Parker has that.
The Caddo Parish School Board has voted to give employees at Caddo Middle Magnet, North Caddo High, Stoner Hill Elementary, and Southern Hills Elementary over $380,000 in bonuses. Not only will teachers at the schools get a bonus check, but so will support staff, including cafeteria staff, custodians, and others. Caddo School spokeswoman Mary Nashwood says it's important to reward everyone who has such a significant positive impact on children. From 101.7 FM and 710 Keel, I'm Matt Parker.
The Governor's Office of Homeland Security and Emergency Preparedness leading a full-scale nuclear disaster prevention drill called Operation Great River, in which a dozen federal, state, and local authorities will participate. The exercise happening today along the Mississippi River near the port of Baton Rouge. GOSEP spokesperson Mike Mike Steele, says it's first-of-a-kind drill in our state.
It takes a look at all of the collaboration needed. Potential nuclear event, you're talking about a lot of different agencies needed, from the detection to the safety of the public.
Steele says it's important to know how to handle such a scenario along a main transportation route like the Mississippi River. Quindarius Williams has been arrested for allegedly burglarizing Tubbs Hardware in Benton back in August. According to Bossier Sheriff Julian Whittington, Williams broke into the business and stole $48,000 worth of lawn equipment. DNA found at the scene positively identified Williams as one of the culprits. 2 or more additional suspects are still on the loose. None of the stolen items have been recovered.
AccuWeather.com forecast. Warm today, clouds, some sun at a high of 75. Mostly cloudy and mild. Low 57 tonight. Rather cloudy, high 71 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
101.7 FM and 710 Keel with Robert J. Wright and Aaron McCarty. Weekday mornings, 6 till 9.
I, Aaron Ann McCarty, do solemnly swear, enthusiastically swear, that I am not giving enough of my money to the state of Louisiana.
Not one more penny.
Start your day with Robert and Aaron in the morning. 101.7 FM and 710 Keel. KeelNews.com. KeelNews.com.
I'm doing the program yesterday, and they're talking about Roy Moore, which I delayed even talking about until when? The third hour? I had some brilliant stuff to say about Trump and the Chi-Coms and Xi Jinping and the North Koreans. And by the way, talk about a major confirmation. Hang on for that. But, so we get into Roy Moore stuff, and I came across a little interesting factoid, and I threw it out there, and it has sent the drive-by media into near conniption fits. I said, did you know that when all this stuff was happening before 1992, Roy Moore was a Democrat? That's it. That is it. And it's amazing now there are people who think that was a defense of Roy Moore, and that El Rushbo, was trying to point out that the hypocrisy was that since he was a Democrat and it all happened when he was a Democrat and nobody cared about it when he was a Democrat, that somehow this is a defense of whatever he's alleged to have done today. And it was just a throwaway line. It was a little interesting factoid. Listen, grab audio soundbite number 9. This is CNN International last night. The co-host John Voss speaking with Loyola Marymount University's Global Policy Institute President Michael Genovese, no relation to Kitty Genovese, about allegations about Judge Roy Moore during a discussion about continued conservative support for Moore. I defy anybody to find where I have even got anywhere near support or outright condemnation. I have handled this like I handle all of these things. I back off and wait to see what the truth is. I have my opinions about what is being done and how the reporting is being handled, but for crying out loud, something about this hit a nerve with these people. I'll tell you what it is, folks. I'm going to tell you exactly what it is. Here's the soundbite first. Listen to this.
Full support for him on conservative talk radio. Rush Limbaugh, in particular, he offered up another defense of Roy Moore, which was bizarre.
Did you know that before 1992, when a lot of this was going on, that Judge Moore was a Democrat? You didn't know that? How about all these people now? Oh, yeah. Everybody here knew about Judge Moore. Oh, yeah, he was a good old boy. We know about Judge Moore for long. While he was a Democrat. Nobody said a word. When he supposedly was attracted to inappropriately aged girls, he was a Democrat.
Michael Genovese.
Well, that's it. The case closed. I think we now know that there's no more to say.
Why are these people so upset? This is just one instance. I mean, this is all over the Hill.com today. I mean, it's in a lot of drive-by media locations. I go, what about this has them all so bugabooed? I mean, if it's such an asinine comment, and if it's a defense, why spend so much time on it? A, it wasn't a defense. There hasn't been any defense, but I'll tell you what's going on. If you take a look, and we mentioned this yesterday, too, have you noticed, ladies and gentlemen, that well over 90, maybe 95% of all of these men that have been accused of all of this perverted behavior are Democrats and liberals in good standing. And the stories continue to pop up every day. There is more and more information being released about additional guys, some of them at universities, now some in the United States Congress, Hollywood, of course, hedge funds, big business, and it's stunning how much of this behavior is tied to Democrats. And so I came along innocently in the third hour. You know, this Moore guy used to be a Democrat back when all this... and the Defense League jumps into gear and immediately has to somehow swat this down, when it was a mere observation. Something tells me that there's a lot of people wound very tight, or tightly out there, because this story, I'll tell you, it is incredible when you sit back and simply recall. Every day it seems there is a new story involving inappropriate behavior towards women by guys who are liberals or who are Democrats or obviously who are both. And I have 3 different stories today on Bill Clinton and how it's time that they are the drive-bys, it's time that we stop giving Bill Clinton a pass. And everybody's got the wrong idea about what's happening with this effort. This is not about coming clean and owning up. All of this 20/20 hindsight on Bill Clinton is not about that at all. This is about people who are trying to save face. These are people who, throughout the 90s, defended Bill Clinton, and not only defended Bill Clinton, but attacked the women who came forward. And they gave him a pass, and they're writing today about how that was a mistake. And they're doing that for 2 reasons. A, to save face, and then to supposedly inoculate them from charges of hypocrisy or irony by now going after anybody they can find on the Republican side who may be guilty of this kind of behavior. Because after all, if they're going to open up and start firing all barrels on any instance of conservative or Republican men alleged to have behaved this way, the elephant in the room is Bill Clinton out there and his pass that they all gave him. So they've got to get that out of the way. So they now have to go back in time, back to the mid-90s, and admit their mistakes and say that they gave him a pass and shouldn't have, and maybe even acknowledge that giving Clinton a pass sent a signal to Hollywood men and others. I mean, if Nina Burley from Time Magazine's out there and is saying, Mr. Clinton, I would give you a Lewinsky as a thank you for keeping abortion legal. Well, if you're a Hollywood actor and your purpose in life is to get as many women bedded as you can, you learn the lesson very fast. Come out and become the biggest pro-choice, publicly pro-choice guy you can, and women will appreciate it and love you, and that's half the battle. And there's no question that giving Clinton a pass sent a signal to a bunch of other people, hey, if the big dog is going to get away with it, not only get away with it, if Clinton's going to get away with it and be heralded, if Clinton is going to get away with it and be held up as a star, if Clinton's going to get away with it and be allowed to remain the big dog in the Democrat Party, then what possibly could happen to me? So I don't doubt that Clinton being given a pass by everybody, women and men in the media and in Hollywood, contributed to the instances and occurrences of this behavior by other liberal Democrat men. So now enter Judge Moore. And they want to destroy Judge Moore, and they want to take him out for a host of reasons. Chief among them, I don't believe, is his alleged behavior. I think they want to get rid of Roy Moore because we just can't allow somebody to get elected to the U.S. Congress who doesn't think like everybody else in the U.S. Congress does. We can't have that. We can't have all this oddball, weird thinking. We need to keep electing people that are going to come here and not really change anything. That's why they're trying to get rid of Trump. He is the quintessential outsider, and they simply can't allow that. They can't accept it. They can't tolerate it, and they can't make it look like they're okay with it. So they have to spend however many years that Trump is president, that's how many years they're going to spend trying to disqualify him, trying to impugn and insult, and hopefully get rid of him. It's all about insider versus outsider, establishment versus outsider, and that's what it is with Judge Moore. Judge Moore thinks entirely differently than anybody else in the swamp. And, of course, the swamp doesn't want any changes to the swamp, and the best way to make sure that happens, don't let anybody who thinks differently get in the swamp. You have the added benefit with Judge Moore that he apparently has these oddball behavioral patterns, kind of like Joe Biden has, toward young women. Excuse me, wait till they hear that. And they've got to unload on Judge Moore. They've got, I mean, both sides. Conservatives, liberals, Democrats, Republicans have to unload on Judge Moore. But you can't give Bill Clinton a pass when what Clinton did is worse than what's being alleged about Judge Moore. So you have to write pieces about, oh, we goofed up. We calculated and made an error. We gave Bill Clinton a pass, and that shouldn't have happened. And so now, Matthew Iglesias at Vox, Bill Clinton should have resigned. The Federalist, David Harsanyi, liberals' sudden concern about Bill Clinton's behavior is cynical and self-serving. That's exactly right. And the next one here is from Jeff Greenfield, old buddy. ABC News now writing at the Political Mag how Roy Moore's misdeeds are forcing an awakening on the left. And the subheadline here, years of excusing Bill Clinton's sexual misconduct suddenly seems morally indefensible. Why suddenly? Jeff, old buddy, old pal, why is Clinton's sexual misconduct suddenly morally indefensible? Because it was always totally and completely indefensible. It must work into your playbook to suddenly be outraged by this lifetime of abuse of women by Bill Clinton. And by the way, there is still a person who is co-elephant in the room who so far has gotten a pass. Because it's not Bill Clinton. It is the Clintons. Not only did Bill Clinton do the deeds, not only was Bill Clinton riding dirty, in the immortal words of the Reverend Jeremiah Wright, pastor of the Barack Obama Church, not only was Bill riding dirty, Hillary was riding shotgun. And Hillary was destroying and helping to destroy any of the women who had been ridden dirty, who were coming forth to say so. And so far, we haven't had any news stories from guilty leftists suggesting that it's time we stop giving Hillary a pass in the defense of her husband's mistreatment of these women. And why does Hillary continue to get a pass, but now we're in the process, the left is in the process of throwing the big dog overboard? You realize everything Clinton has done since they left the White House and stole some furniture out of there on their way out. You remember that happened? Ever since then, the Clinton Global Initiative, the Clinton Crime Family Foundation, the Disaster Relief Charity Works, all the numerous trips to Haiti, all that's been about has been to rebuild the Clinton legacy that has been tarnished by the Monica Lewinsky story and other ancillary related stories involving other women. Everything the Clintons have done has been oriented toward erasing those memories and establishing a new legacy so as to facilitate Mrs. Clinton's further presidential aspirations. And now she has bombed twice. And they don't want her to be the face of the party any longer, so they're doing whatever they can to clear the decks to be able to go out and destroy any Republican they think. Because right now the ratio in guys accused of sexual harassment, what is it, about 50-1 Democrats to Republicans? But whenever there is a Republican that pops up on the radar who is accused of this, the drive-bys have to be able to go after whoever that is and destroy them. And they think giving Clinton a pass provides a problem. So in hindsight now, they're trying to save face and admit their guilt and their mistakes in giving Clinton a pass. And now they're fixing it. But you notice how the fix goes. We are taking care of our mistakes that we made in giving Bill Clinton a pass so that we can focus on Donald Trump. Which is what all of this ultimately is aimed at. Let me take a brief time out. We'll continue right into this, folks. Don't go away.
America's Anchorman, Rush, on the EIB Network.
Hey, if you travel for business, book your next trip at Upside.com and you'll get 2 great gifts this holiday season. A free pair of Bose SoundLink wireless headphones and the gift of a better business travel experience. Only Upside has customer service specialists who look out for you every step of your trip. Their team is hard at work 24/7 to make sure your flight, your hotel, and your rental car all go off without a hitch. You get all that. Plus, Upside has great prices for flights, hotels, and rental cars. Now, to get your free pair of Bose SoundLink wireless headphones, just go to Upside.com/USA. That's Upside.com/USA to claim your free Bose SoundLink wireless headphones just for trying Upside. It's one more way that Upside is helping to reduce the stress of business travel. Upside.com. You deserve a better business trip. Minimum purchase required. See site for complete details.
Are your medical bills piling up due to cancer or another serious illness? You are not alone. Many people face this challenge. Here's how Coventry Direct can help. You can receive an immediate cash payment by selling your life insurance policy. If you have $100,000 or more of life insurance, you may be eligible to sell your policy, even a term policy. To find out if you qualify, call Coventry Direct today at 1-800-458-2100 to speak to one of our policy specialists. That's 1-800-458-2100. The cash you receive from selling your policy can be used to help pay medical bills or whatever you choose to give you financial security and peace of mind. Call Coventry Direct at 1-800-458-2100 or visit us at CoventryDirect.com. Coventry Direct, giving you the cash you need when you need it most. Coventry Direct is a marketing company and will refer qualified policies to a licensed entity.
When you think Rush Limbaugh, you have to think 1017 FM and 710 Keel. KeelNews.com. KeelNews.com.
Hiring is important, but finding the right people can be a real challenge. That's why ZipRecruiter is obsessed with finding you qualified candidates fast. ZipRecruiter finds candidates with the right experience and notifies them to apply for your job. No wonder 80% of employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within just 1 day. The right candidates are out there. This is how you find them. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
To try ZipRecruiter for free, just go to ZipRecruiter.com/talk. That's ZipRecruiter.com/talk.
Want to own the #1 selling tractor in your state? Get a Kubota. Kubota's L2501 compact tractor was built with major power, comfort, and versatility. From mowing and planting to digging and lifting and everything in between, Kubota's L2501 is a quality workhorse at an affordable price. Now get 0% financing for up to 84 months. After December 31st, 2017. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for more information.
Visit Shreveport Tractor, Fallon Tractor, or LouisianaKubotaDealers.com.
Hi, I'm Tito Beverage, founder and master distiller at Tito's Handmade Vodka. I've been doing this for 20 years, but success doesn't happen in a vacuum. Thank you for helping me move this thing along. You helped me get this thing going in the early days by telling 20 of your closest friends about Tito's. They told 20 more, and it kept growing from there. We wouldn't be where we are today without your support. Thank you very much. Go to Tito'sVodka.com and pick up some Tito's gear. All proceeds benefit our charity partners. Cheers. 80 proof Tito's Handmade Vodka, distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. Tito'sVodka.com.
Northwestern State Demon football plays here. Keep up with your Demons as they go through Southland Conference action on 101.7 FM and 710 Keel all season long. Also, stream the games online through the new Keel app and online at KeelNews.com.
You're listening to Rush Limbaugh on 101.7 FM and 710 Keel.
Greetings and welcome back. It's the Rush Limbaugh program. Happy to have you here, folks. The telephone number is 800-282-2882. The email address, lrushmo@eibnet.us. Newt Gingrich is weighed in. He said yesterday it's amazing how quickly a lynch mob can form in the wake of the sexual misconduct allegations against Roy Moore. He said this guy's never had a jury trial. He's never been indicted. There's never been a chance to measure up against his accusers. I'm not defending him. I'm just saying it's amazing to me how rapidly the lynch mob can form. Well, it ought not be. This isn't the first time a lynch mob is formed. Lynch mobs in the drive-by media aimed at Republicans and conservatives are very common. And they can be ginned up overnight. And believe me, a lot of people are very cognizant of that. This has been all-encompassing. There's no question. I mean, there's no partisan dividing line on this. I mean, there is nobody out there who wants to give Judge Moore the benefit of a single doubt. Everybody wants to be on the side of universal condemnation. We need the equivalent of the political death penalty, and we need it imposed now. No, I'm not trying to be disrespectful of Newt. I know what Newt is saying here. Can I translate this? When Newt Gingrich says, amazing how fast a lynch mob can form. Because it's not amazing. Lynch mobs, media, Democrat Party lynch mobs are common. What Mr. Newt is actually saying is, how old is Judge Moore? How old is he? 60-some-odd? Okay, 70. Judge Moore apparently has been engaging in this kind of behavior for many, many moons. A little Indian lingo there. And throughout his life, by the way, did you know that prior to 1992 he was a Democrat? Throughout his life, the entirety of his life, none of this was either found, or if it was found, if it was known, none of it was reported. And yet everybody's, oh yeah, everybody knew Judge Moore was doing, like everybody knew Harvey Weinstein was doing what he was doing. Oh yeah, everybody knows Judge Moore likes the young skirts. Oh yeah, everybody's... Really? Well, why didn't it make any news? This is not the first political achievement Judge Moore has sought. You know, he is a judge. He is a judge. There were efforts to stop him from being a judge, but it was largely on the basis of the fact that he likes the Ten Commandments on public display. So what Newt's actually saying here is, Where did all this stuff come from? If it's been known and if it has been well documented, why has it not been reported until now? And that is a curious question. It is not a defense. I feel embarrassed to insult your intelligence, to have to remind you that none of this is a defense, but the drive-bys are in a state here that they are incapable of listening and hearing things rationally. Mr. Newt said that the burden is on Judge Moore to convince those in Alabama he's worthy of being a senator. So I'm frankly a little disappointed in people in Washington who take the totally phony news of the Washington Post and they rush to judgment. He said it would be destructive to set up a write-in campaign in the Alabama Senate race. Fine and dandy. Let me tell you what the real outcome of this is going to be, or one of the potential outcomes of this, regardless what happens to Judge Moore, who was a Democrat before 1992.
The power of information. Keel News now.
The Shreveport Council votes down a no-confidence vote on Chief Alan Crump. James Fleury says he needs to know more about the job the chief is doing.
I don't believe that I'm able to receive the answers to the questions that I have because I had reached out to get additional information. This is a very important decision, and I want to be fair, but I want to be informed.
The measure was killed on a 3-2 vote. Just back from Asia, President Trump is walking straight into a party panic over the sexual misconduct accusations dogging GOP Senate candidate Roy Moore. Having pushed publicly and privately for Moore to get out of the race, Republicans believe their last best shot is Trump. The Caddo Juvenile Detention Center preparing for an increased population due to a new law that will send 17-year-old nonviolent offenders back into the juvenile system. It goes into effect in July of next year. Astronauts on the International Space Station getting a mouth-watering haul with the latest delivery from Earth. They're getting pizza and ice cream. I'm Aaron McCarty from 101.7 FM and 710 Keel.
Hiring is important, but finding the right people can be a real challenge. That's why ZipRecruiter is obsessed with finding you qualified candidates fast. ZipRecruiter finds candidates with the right experience and notifies them to apply for your job. No wonder 80% of employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within just one day. The right candidates are out there. This is how you find them. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
To try ZipRecruiter for free, just go to ZipRecruiter.com/talk. That's ZipRecruiter.com/talk.
'Tis the stuffing season. You'll stuff your turkey. You'll stuff yourself. So why not stuff your wallet with huge holiday savings from Ray Ford? All month long, get Black Friday deals on our entire inventory. Feast on the savings and get 0% financing for 72 months. Now available on select 2017 models. Plus, get an extra $1,000 bonus cash when you finance through Ford. View our entire inventory at rayford.net. Stuff your wallet with huge holiday savings from Ray Ford, your hometown Ford dealer since 1911.
You know how to tell if somebody's serious about their work? Look at their feet. If they stand in a pair of Red Wing shoes, that means they stand for something. Red Wing stands behind their boots. Their brands include Red Wing Works, Irish Setter Hunt, Irish Setter Work, Vask, and Red Wing Heritage. Red Wing measures your feet for ultimate fit and comfort. Red Wing Work and Sport Boots are on sale. Red Wing on Uri Drive, just north of Kroger, and in Bossier next to Bossier Power Equipment. Red Wing Shoes. Work is our work.
Only in the forest can you see this. And this. And this. But nothing beats the moment you see that.
Cool!
That's your child's eyes opening up to a world of possibilities.
I didn't know it could do that!
Because one trip to the forest can spark a world of difference.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go, like hiking, canoeing, fishing, or camping. Or create your own adventure with family and friends, and you might just see this. Your moment's out there. Find it at discovertheforest.org. That's discovertheforest.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Sean Hannity, weekdays from 2 to 5 on 101.7 FM and 710 Keel for breaking news and trending talk. The Keel app is brought to you by Office Furniture Source. Download the app today. Keel.
To accountant.
Welcome, my friends. Great to have you back. Rush Limbaugh, the cutting edge of societal evolution. May I remind you of something about Judge Moore? The reaction to Judge Moore from inside the Beltway was extreme and loud, even before all of the sexual harassment and the other alleged acts of perversion were announced. I mean, when the Republican primary was going on in Alabama, the Republicans inside the Beltway, the Republican leadership, none of them wanted Judge Moore. Even before, again, this is important, even before all of the allegations made about acts that the judge had committed 38 or 40 years ago, even before those had surfaced, this guy was obviously persona non grata. This guy, they didn't want this guy anywhere near Washington, D.C. Not even Trump. Trump didn't even endorse the guy. Trump endorsed Luther Strange, who was the temporary incumbent at the time. So why? What was it about Judge Moore, even before all of this that everybody's talking about now surfaced, that still made the swamp react in abject panic and anger? And remember when Steve Bannon threw his hat in the ring for Judge Moore and made it clear that this was part of an effort to unseat Mitch McConnell as the Republican leader in the Senate? Bannon had made no secret of his desire to replace the Republican leadership and have them replaced by people more attuned to America's Republican populist voters. Was going to be one of the early candidates to attempt this makeover, if you will, of the Republican Party. And the opposition to Judge Moore was just as loud and just as pointed. There was as much of it as there is now. The difference now is that it has become unanimous on both sides and has become very loud. But why the original opposition to Judge Moore? Again, before all of the sex stuff surfaced. Oh, one other thing. I can't help it. This is another little factoid, folks. You know, one of the allegations is that Judge Moore was on a double date with Joe Biden and that they... No, I'd better not try to make a joke. The drive-bys just don't have any humor anymore and take everything literally. Judge Moore is alleged to have picked up the waitress in the diner. After her boyfriend was late, he offered to take her home and instead drove her around back of the diner in the parking lot and locked all the doors, preventing her escape, and then began to sexually accost and abuse her. There are people writing news stories today saying there is no parking lot behind this diner. No parking lot behind the diner. So, where did Judge Moore actually go with the waitress? I'm throwing it out as an open-ended question. But what was it that inspired such opposition to Judge Moore? And by the way, he's not alone. In opposition to any number of other Republican candidates throughout the years. And I'll tell you what it is. As far as the Washington establishment sees it, and by the establishment, let me define it again, not just the parties, but there are certain members of the establishment media, Washington media, that are in the establishment, and there are many of them who are conservative. The establishment is made up of people who believe they are special and elite by virtue of their membership and where they live and their jobs and their importance. and their relevance. They're all opinion makers. They are opinion movers. They are policy makers and policy influencers, and they're special. And there will not be people in Congress, House or Senate, who have a different outlook and a different opinion on things. They're not going to permit it. They're not going to permit anybody who thinks differently, anybody who wants to do things differently, anybody who has current disagreements with existing policy and procedures. That's what this is. This is the swamp circling the wagons and making sure that nobody gets in there that is drastically different from those who are already there. Instead, the people that will be welcomed to the establishment are those who can be forced either to conform or who will willingly conform upon arrival and end up in lockstep with those who determine what is and what isn't inside the establishment. Now, isn't that what Trump voters are actually trying to do? Isn't it that Trump voters are actually trying to send people to Washington who do think differently, who do have different attitudes, who do have different policy suggestions and solutions, and who are not conformist with the establishment way of doing it? Isn't that precisely what Donald Trump is? Again, this is not a defense of Roy Moore, what he has or hasn't done, because frankly, I don't know. This to me is about that, but so much more. The sex and all that's being focused on, because the objective is to ruin this guy and to send a message to anybody else that might want to go to Washington and do things differently. Don't even try, because you'll be next. That's what all of this nonstop search and destroy mission on Trump is. It's not only to get rid of him, to paralyze him, to render him incompetent, but it's to send a message to anybody else who might have a similar idea to not even try it, because you do not want to live through what we will put you through. Their attitude is there's no need to have people here with a different outlook than what we already have. There's no reason to have people here have a different opinion on things. We don't need that. We need people going to conform. We need people who, when they get here, are going to be happy they're here and are going to do what we say they have to do so they can climb the ladder of success in our establishment. We want conformists. We want people who act alike, think alike, talk alike. We want people who represent us well. We don't want these outsiders in here. And that's why the opposition to Judge Moore, even before all the sexual allegations began, he's just weird. The guy's just a creep to that. He's kooky, he's weird, he's a nut, he's an oddball, he's embarrassing. Oh my, he's everything in the world the swamp would not want to have to say as a member. But on these charges of sexual harassment, I don't care who you are, they're very difficult to defend against. They really are. I mean, you can do it, but I think it's a very successful line of attack. And any man could be accused of this. There doesn't have to be any hard evidence of it. Now, I'm not suggesting that there's false allegations going on here about anybody else. Just saying that this allegation is a real tough one to defend against. And it's always going to be one of the arrows in the quiver. And what's happening now is pure, solid evidence of the effectiveness of it. Now, in virtually, practically every case that we're hearing about, almost everybody has acknowledged guilt to one degree or another. Jeremy Piven is still flatly denying, and a couple of others. But nevertheless, it's a tough one to defend against. And even if you successfully defend yourself against it, still, it stains and it tarnishes. And those who would wield such allegations are very much aware of this. So Newt Gingrich talks about it, a new level of lynch mob politics. Meanwhile, there are some Democrats that get away with things. They're not held to account on it whatsoever. One would be Bill Clinton. Robert Menendez is on trial with similar allegations and others, and you can't even find it reported on. He's a Democrat senator from New Jersey, but you can't find hardly any news about it. And Joe Biden, nickname is Handsy, and there's a reason for it. Well, that's just old Joe. So this is something I expect that we're going to see many more allegations of, particularly against people who might act different and think different and want to be different. Because these are dangerous times for the establishment. And the more success Trump has, that can be tied to Donald Trump, the more irritated and filled with angst the establishment is going to end up being. So, ponder all that. Now, another brief obscene profit timeout. We'll be back. Do you know that polling data on Judge Moore, this will surprise you, latest I have, yesterday, Alabama Senate GOP candidate Roy Moore leads his Democrat opponent Doug Jones by 6 points in a new poll amid fallout over decades-old allegations of sexual misconduct. 2 allegations from 40 and 38 years ago. Judge Moore leads 49-43 in a Fox 10 poll of likely voters released yesterday. And then Judge Moore holds a 10-point lead over Doug Jones in a new Senate poll. Alabama Senate poll released on Monday, conducted by Emerson College, said that Judge Moore leading Democrat Doug Jones by 10 points. Emerson had Moore, the Republican nominee, leading Jones 55-45 in the poll conducted last Thursday through Saturday. The sample of likely Senate voters was 600, and the automated landline poll had a margin of error of 3.9%. Emerson said that, don't get it wrong here, though, this represents a significant drop in support for Moore, in which he was up as much as 22 points over Luther Strange back during the Republican primary. So that's the latest polling data as of Monday and Tuesday of this week. Oh, and then there's this fascinating little headline from thehill.com. GOP hopes Trump will save Alabama Senate seat. Really? Republicans are looking for President Trump to get them out of a jam and to convince Roy Moore to drop out of the Senate race in Alabama. So far, their calls for Moore to step aside have fallen on deaf ears. So the only way out of this jam is for Judge Moore to step aside and let a Democrat win the seat. That's what we got to do to fix this. Okay.
The courage to fight and the talent to succeed. Rush on the EIB network.
It is never a good look when you wear a long, bulky dress shirt untucked. And you may think it makes you look casual, but more than likely, you just look sloppy. Now, there's a brand of shirts made specifically for this look, to make you look sharp, to look smart. It's Untuck It, all one word. This is a casual shirt that falls at the perfect length every time. Not too long, not too short. Shirts so well made that GQ calls them perfection. With styles and patterns that can carry you from casual settings to semi-formal events, Untuck It shirts will help you look great, period. Untuck It now makes shirts for women, too. Shirts that are effortlessly casual and versatile. Just go online to untuckit.com and check out the new fall arrivals. Use promo code RUSH20 for 20% off your entire purchase, or visit one of the 20-plus Untuck It retail stores across the country. That's untuckit.com, your solution to perfecting casual. Untuckit.com.
Hiring is important, but finding the right people can be a real challenge. That's why ZipRecruiter is obsessed with finding you qualified candidates fast. ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology finds candidates with the right experience, then alerts the most qualified ones to apply for your job as soon as you post it. You can even add screening questions to your job post, narrowing your focus to only relevant applicants, saving you time. No wonder 80% of employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within just one day. The right candidates are out there. This is how you find them. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Businesses of all sizes trust ZipRecruiter for their hiring needs. We're so confident that ZipRecruiter will get you better results than anywhere else. We'll let you try it free. That's right, free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/CEO. That's ZipRecruiter.com/CEO. ZipRecruiter.com/CEO.
Tech, this is Trey Rogers with Landers Fiat here in the Shreveport Auto Mall to tell you about some great deals all under $20,000 during our Black Friday sales event. Looking for something to fit the family? How about a brand new 2017 Fiat 500X with room for 5, up to 33 miles per gallon highway, backup camera, and more for only $18,999. Stock number HP540277. Or how about this? A brand new Fiat 500 Pop equipped with a premium audio system, remote keyless entry, and gets up to 38 miles per gallon highway for as low as $13,999. Stock number HT659154. And don't forget about our Black Friday savings on the sporty Fiat 124 Spider Classica equipped with the 1.4-liter multi-air turbo engine. So come see us at Landers Fiat during our Black Friday sales event or online at gofiat.com. And remember, if it doesn't say Landers, you probably paid too much.
You are listening to Rush Limbaugh on 101.7 FM and 710 Keel.
On the cutting edge of societal evolution, Rush Limbaugh. Very hard to pin down on anything here, even though everybody thinks they can do it. 800-282-2882. And here's Mark in Port Townsend. Where's Port Townsend? Port Townsend what?
That's a little bit west of Seattle.
In Washington. Okay, great to have you with us. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, sir. I hope you're doing well yourself. I just wanted to...
I am under siege today, Mark. I'm under siege. The drive-by media is after me because I dared to point out that Roy Moore used to be a Democrat.
That's why you get paid the big bucks. We're envious of you. So the comment I wanted to make was that as a retired law enforcement officer, Jeff Sessions, I'm speaking as a retired law enforcement officer, Jeff Sessions says he doesn't see any reason to doubt these girls' word. Well, I see a really good reason. None of these girls has been put under oath and made a sworn statement under penalty of perjury. And Gloria Allwood should be able to tell you that is the first thing you do when you get a client. You depose them, and you get their statement on the record, and then you go from there. And if they're not willing to make a sworn statement, that sounds really fishy to me.
I take it you don't believe the women, or you just don't have enough information yet to make a determination?
You don't have enough information to make a determination, but speaking as an ex-cop, I find it fishy that nobody has made a sworn statement. And about that yearbook thing, you know, when I was in uniform, you'd get a certain time of year, you'd get kids walking up to you all the time, wouldn't you, to sign their yearbook. Hey, Officer Mark, sign my yearbook. And I was only a cop. I mean, can you imagine how politicians get kids wanting to sign their yearbook? That doesn't mean they remember all of them.
All right, hang on. On the yearbook stuff, folks, for those of you who may not be up to speed on this, and I doubt there are very many of you, there are allegations that some of these autographs and yearbooks are forged. People, there are conservative blog sites claiming to have evidence by virtue of side-by-side comparison that somebody other than Judge Moore signed some of these things. This is the first I've mentioned that. I'm just reacting to you bringing up the yearbooks. As to, you're upset with Jeff Sessions. He's the Attorney General, and he is go ahead and acknowledging that he believes witnesses before anybody's been put under oath, and you think that's a little unprofessional.
It sounded to me like he's just trying to tread carefully.
Well, look, this is politics. It has its own court, and it's not a court of law.
But these girls are making public statements.
They are women. They are.
Yeah. Okay. They're making public statements impugning somebody's honor, and somebody with responsibility needs to explain to them, if you're going to besmirch somebody, you got to put it on the record.
No, you don't. Only in court, and this is not in court. This is in politics.
I understand it's politics, but Gloria Allred should know what the law is.
I'm sure she does. That's why she's not in court and is instead on TV.
I just want to make that point, Rush. Thank you.
I'm glad you called, Mark. Folks, I have to tell you, I'm having a little fun with this. Don't misunderstand here, but he's exactly right. But of course, that doesn't. There's a whole different inertia and movement now that is taking place in the world of politics, and there is no room for doubt. I mean, the guy did it. You don't disbelieve the women. I mean, that's something you must subscribe to now. The women don't lie. And except if you're Juanita Broderick, then of course, yeah, that's the point. We'll be back here in just a minute.
He makes it look easy, but it's not. Rush on the EIB network.
This past decade, our national debt has grown by $100 million every hour. We're $20 trillion in debt. Do you seem to care? Until it's too late. Remember 2008? The warnings were there. Record high stocks, high-priced housing, and a focus on unrealistic returns. Sound familiar? For a while, Bernie Madoff's investors felt great. .com investors felt the same. Even investors in mortgages felt it would never end. But we've learned when you focus on chasing unrealistic returns, terrible things can happen. So if you've been considering a gold or silver investment, call Lear Capital at 1-800-957-GOLD for the special report, The Fuse is Lit. This free report delivers proof the debt bomb could blow any second and end the market illusion. And when you call 1-800-957-4653, also ask how you can get up to a $2,000 bonus when you set up a new gold or silver-backed IRA. Call 1-800-957-4653. That's 800-957-GOLD.
Hey, architects, Denny and Trey Rogers here with Landers Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. And during our Black Friday sales event, you get great deals all month long. No coupons required.
Check this out. You can lease a 2018 Dodge Challenger SXT with available 30 miles per gallon highway, keyless enter and go, 7-inch touchscreen, and more for $325 a month for 39 months with $1,500 due at signing.
How about this? A 2018 Dodge Journey SE, equipped with a third-row seating, rear tri-zone AC, 25 miles to the gallon, only $19,980. That's $5,000 off MSRP.
And why stop there? How about a 2018 Dodge Charger SXT equipped with a popular blacktop package for $349 a month with only $349 down?
Come see us during our Black Friday sales event going on all month long at Landers Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, or shop us online at golanders.com.
And remember, if it doesn't say Landers, then you probably paid too much.
If you think out-of-town companies understand your local IRS problems stemming from Louisiana's recent floods and oil and gas setbacks, think again. This is Kerry Bryson with the Bryson Law Firm in Shreveport. We've handled thousands of IRS cases related to Louisiana's up-and-down economy, and for years, we've negotiated with the local IRS collection officers to help our clients end their tax issues. So before you hire anyone to handle your IRS issue, come talk to the local tax attorneys at Bryson Law Firm at no charge. We'll meet with you in person and examine your situation. Then we'll tell you on the spot exactly how much it'll cost. Again, we're local tax attorneys that specialize in handling tax problems for Louisiana residents, and we have an A+ rating from the BBB. So before you send money to some out-of-town high-pressure salesperson, call the Bryson Law Firm in Shreveport. Remember, if you have IRS problems, you have legal problems. You need an attorney who specializes in tax law. You need the Bryson Law Firm.
You're listening to Rush Limbaugh on 101.7 FM and 710 Keel.
I was was having fun with the caller, and his obvious consternation by confusing what happens in politics with what happens in the law, which is ironic because the laws are written by these people, but what happens there, apparently, the law doesn't matter first and foremost. Find it funny.
The Independence Bowl. Signed the best walk-on yet. Don't miss the Walk-Ons Independence Bowl on December 27th. Get tickets online at walkonsindependencebowl.com. Individual tickets start at $30. Group tickets start at $15. Plus, this year, every ticket holder present at the game will be entered into a drawing for a brand new Ford F-150. Brought to you by Gateway Tire and Toyo Tires. That's the ticket. walkonsindependencebowl.com or call 318-221-0712.
'Tis the stuffing season. You'll stuff your turkey. You'll stuff yourself. So why not stuff your wallet with huge holiday savings from Ray Ford? All month long, get Black Friday deals on our entire inventory. These dollar savings and get 0% financing for 72 months. Now available on select 2017 models. Plus, get an extra $1,000 bonus cash when you finance through Ford. View our entire inventory at rayford.net. Stuff your wallet with huge holiday savings from Ray Ford, your hometown Ford dealer since
News and trending talk. This is 101.7 FM and 710 Keel. KEEL, Shreveport.
Congress comes full circle on Lisa Brady, Fox News. The tax reform debate leading right back to Obamacare. Fox's Jared Halpern is live on the Hill.
House Republicans are pressing ahead for a vote on their tax bill tomorrow.
It will help jobs and job creation. That is why we are here today.
Rules Committee Chairman Pete Sessions. The House measure, however, does not include any language that would repeal the Affordable Care Act's individual mandate. That has been added to a Senate bill.
Millions will see their premiums skyrocket, and millions are going to get hit with a tax hike.
Finance Committee Democrat Ron Wyden also cites Congressional Budget Office figures estimating 13 million more uninsured Americans without an individual mandate. Lisa.
Meantime, Jared, outside the Capitol.
Protect our health care.
A rally against the Republican bills led by top Democrats in Congress. The head of a federal agency that's been criticized by the president is stepping down, apparently, to run for office. Fox's John Decker, live at the White House.
Richard Cordray had been under fire from congressional Republicans from almost the time he took over the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Many Republicans view the CFPB as an agency that's an example of regulatory overreach. In a statement to employees, Cordray wrote that the Bureau is responsible for $12 billion in relief recovered from nearly 30 million consumers and stronger safeguards against irresponsible mortgage practices. Cordray has long been speculated as a potential candidate for Ohio governor. Lisa?
John, disappointment for Minnesota, which was hoping to host the first World's Fair on U.S. soil in 40 years. But instead of Bloomington, Buenos Aires is chosen. Argentina's capital planning a theme of celebrating human creativity by showcasing artistic and technological innovations, also beating the city in Poland. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Have you heard of property tax lien certificates? Robert Kiyosaki and President Trump have written books on this fixed double-digit rate investment. Don't outlive your money. Protect your IRA from volatile markets. Invest in municipal-issued fixed rates. Call Cornerstone, a professional tax lien trading firm. Call 800-222-INFO. 800-222-INFO. That's 800-222-INFO.
Have pain you can't ignore? Then try first-in-class relief from Salon Pass. Salon Pass pain relief patches have everything you need in one clinically proven solution. They're the strongest label pain reliever available without a prescription, safely relieving pain for up to 12 hours. And Salon Pass is the first and only FDA-approved OTC topical pain reliever. For first-in-class relief, get Salon Pass pain relief patches in the green box with a blue wave.
Information. Keel News now.
Air Force
Hours Secretary Dr. Heather Wilson is in town for the Global Strike Command Technology and Innovation Symposium. Dr. Wilson stopped by Kiel News this morning to share her views on the future of Barksdale.
This is a major command for the United States Air Force. This is Global Strike Command. It is part of our core mission, and that's what having General Rand here means. It's an important base for the United States and for the United States Air Force.
You can read more from the Secretary online at kielnews.com. A new law could have a huge impact on Caddo. Matt Parker has that.
The Caddo Juvenile Detention Center is preparing for an increased population due to a new law that will send 17-year-old nonviolent offenders back into the juvenile justice system. The new law goes into effect in July of 2018. Clay Walker, Director of Juvenile Services in Caddo, is concerned on how they're going to handle the additional bodies. Walker says they can only hold 24 juveniles at a time, and they don't have money to expand or build a new facility. From 101.7 FM and 710 Kiel, I'm Matt Parker.
The Shreveport City Council votes down a measure of no confidence on Police Chief Alan Crump. Councilman James Fleury says he's putting his faith in the mayor.
I've got confidence in Mayor Tyler that she will guide this as though he might be a principal in a school that maybe needs some help. But I believe we ought to give him an opportunity and her an opportunity to work with him about his metrics and work with him and to be a better communicator.
The measure failed on a 3-2 vote. Council members Bowman and Lynch were absent. The panel did get an earful about the airport budget from a retired Air Force Major General James Graves.
It may not come through your general funds, ladies and gentlemen, but every penny comes from your citizens, constituents, customers, and taxpayers, and we're tired of paying for it. This must stop now.
The general pointed out to the panel some parts of the airport budget have doubled. It's now time for this hour's Kiel Cash Code. You can take this code to kielnews.com for your chance to win. It's ALERT, A-L-E-R-T. ALERT is this hour's Kiel Cash Code. From 101.7 FM and 710 Kiel, I'm Greg Adams. Now let's take a look at your AccuWeather forecast.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. For this afternoon, sun and clouds, high 75. Cloudy tonight, low 57. For tomorrow, cloudy, high 71. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Andy Robb.
Rush is on 101.7 FM and 710 Kiel.
Folks, I don't know if you have seen them. There are not very many of them yet, and they are kind of widespread out there. But on stories about Harvey Weinstein, there are now, well, in fact, I don't even need to go to a story. Friday, stand by on what I told you on Soundbites. Grab soundbite number 19. What I was going to say is I've seen a couple of stories out there talking about the future redemption of Harvey Weinstein. Have you seen those? Yeah, Weinstein was the reprobate of the year for a couple of weeks, 3 weeks. But then I noticed that in the drive-by media and in certain enclaves of Hollywood, there began to be discussions of, you know, it doesn't make any sense because if you look at the body of work that Weinstein put out, it's so beautiful. It's so touching. It's so sensitive. Look at the movies. How do we square the body of work with this reprobate pervert behavior? Signifying that there might be a middle ground in there whereby Weinstein could be redeemed sufficiently so to be forgiven. And then there have been similar stories about some of these other perverts in Hollywood. the desire to maybe have them realize the errors of their ways and seek a second chance. Now, I'm here to tell you that same option will never be offered to Roy Moore or any other conservative Republican who happens to end up in the crosshairs of sexual harassment charges. Look at the pass Bill Clinton got for all of those years, and only now when it's necessary for people to save face. On the left, are they now, in 2020 hindsight, they are faux spanking themselves. They are pretending to beat themselves up over the mistakes they made by giving Clinton a pass. But now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to go to the audio sound bites. We have the famous intellectual actor Bryan Cranston, who played the character Walter White Heisenberg on the immensely popular Breaking Bad TV show, who not long ago opined that after first ripping Trump to shreds and thinking Trump should be out of office, Trump shouldn't have been elected, Trump's this, Trump's that, he changed his tune and said, you know what, I now hope Trump succeeds. And the left gasped. And he said, that's right, he's the president now. And I don't want him to fail. I think anybody would say, I hope he fails. You know what I would say to that person? F you. Well, there was only one person nationally known for ever having said about Obama, I hope he fails, and that was me, your beloved Guiding Light host, El Rushbo. Bryan Cranston is back. Deep thought intellectual leader of Hollywood. He was on the BBC. Arts editor Will Gompertz speaking with Cranston about recent allegations of sexual harassment against Harvey Weinstein and Kevin Spacey. Question, is there a way back? Is there a way back for the Weinsteins and Spaceys of the world?
It would take time. It would take a society to forgive them. And it would take tremendous contrition on their part. And a knowingness that they have a deeply rooted psychological, emotional problem. And it takes years to mend that. If they were to show us that they put the work in and are truly sorry and making amends and not defending their actions, but asking for forgiveness, then maybe down the road there is room for that. Maybe so. We shouldn't close it off and say, to hell with him, rot, and go away from us for the rest of your life. Let's not do that. Let's be bigger than that.
There you have it. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready, because the Weinstein-Spacey redemption phase has now begun. There has to be a second chance. We can't just say rot and go away for the rest of your life unless it's to Donald Trump. But to these other paragons of great entertainment and arts value, we must afford open-mindedness and second chances. As long as they admit that they're genuine screw-ups, as long as they admit that they're reprobates, as long as they admit that they're lucky to be breathing air, we'll give them a second chance. As long as they spend enough time and dig deep and admit to themselves what a bunch of human debris they have been, we can get them back. We should be open to this. Yes. What do you think? 6 weeks of rehab and we can bring them back? I'm just telling you. And you're going to soon see, if you haven't already, the stories, probably Washington Post, New York Times, the beauty of the work. Look at the substance of the Weinstein movie catalog. My God, it's some of the most beautiful, moving stuff we've ever seen. How do we square the guy who did that with what we know that Ashley Judd and the others said about it? No, the reason I'm bringing this up is because there's a new meme out there today. There's a new narrative, and that is that sexual harassment isn't partisan. I beg to differ. Everything is partisan when the drive-by media and the Democrat Party are involved. Everything is. And because it's partisan, there isn't sameness or equality in the way people are treated. And I guarantee you, second chances for Weinstein and Spacey will not be offered to other perps. Cosby? Well, Cosby, that's... You know, Cosby is a different situation altogether. I mean, Cosby doesn't have much more value to contribute. We pretty much got the catalog of Bill Cosby's work already. And Cosby has not shown any contrition. Oh, it's very, very important. Cosby has continued to double down, deny it, and so forth and so on. But we'll just see. Now, ladies and gentlemen, moving off this stuff for a minute, we're going to come back to it because the Bill Clinton aspect of this is, I'm still not through addressing and dealing with that, but there are other things happening out there, and I don't want them to slip away and fall to the wayside. CNBC has a story today. Senate GOP tax reform bill seeks the repeal of the Obamacare individual mandate. So you have the House tax bill. This is not in it. And I asked Paul Ryan why not when he was here last week for an interview. And then the Senate releases their bill, and hot damn if it isn't there. And I'll tell you something, it's important. If we get rid of the Obamacare individual mandate, then we have gutted Obamacare. That is a significant portion of repealing Obamacare. So let's go to the audio sound bites. And we're first going to focus on, now back soundbite number 3 and number 4. This is a replay of the interview back on November 7th that I did with the Speaker of the House, Paul Ryan. There's something else here that I don't understand either. I saw this headline at thehill.com. It's a number of places. GOP unlikely to repeal Obamacare mandate in the tax bill. Now, Senator Cotton is leading an effort to include a repeal of the mandate in the tax bill. There's no language for this in the House bill. The Hill says that the chairman of Ways and Means, Mr. Brady, expressed worry because trying to repeal the mandate could jeopardize the broader bill. You know, the reason you can do it, it's a tax because the Supreme Court said it was a tax in order to legalize Obamacare. So why can't you just get rid of that in one fell swoop?
Well, obviously, I'm in favor of getting rid of it. We're in favor of... We passed our repeal and replace of Obamacare in the House back in May. So the House is clearly on record for getting rid of this mandate and repealing the whole thing and replacing it with patient-centered health care. It's what you just said. The question is whether or not we have the support to do it in tax reform or not. And that's something that a lot of members are talking about with themselves. And so it's something that people are suggesting. Right now, the Ways and Means Committee, which is doing the tax law, is focused on tax policy. They're not focused on anything else at this time.
It would be so great to get rid of that. You get rid of that, and you've taken the guts and the heart and the soul out of Obamacare.
You have no argument with me.
Now, the Speaker, Ryan, back on November 7th, and it was clear that, well, we're not doing a Obamacare bill here. We're doing a tax bill. If they want to mess with it over there, that's fine. I'd just soon it'd be gone too, but we're not things here because we want to stay focused on the tax bill. So the Senate presents their bill and the individual mandate's gone. But before you start clapping, wait a minute. There's something I need to inform you that you may not have learned if you didn't read far enough in the story about this. But first, here is Speaker Ryan this morning, CNBC Squawk Box. He's talking to Becky Quick. She said, your membership, I mean the House Republicans, voting tomorrow on the tax reform bill. And it just got a lot more complicated by what the Senate chose to do overnight by wrapping a partial repeal of the Obamacare individual mandate. Now, we've always said tax reform is really tough, maybe nothing tougher than health care reform. So by putting these two together, what does that do in terms of what you have to do to convince your membership to stay loyal to your tax bill?
We've had the House votes to do that. We passed our repeal of the individual mandate back in May, but we never had the votes in the Senate. So what we didn't want to do is make tax reform harder than it already is, but it really is whether or not the Senate has the votes for this or not. So we're seeing what the Senate can do. If the Senate can get it through committee, if they can get it through the floor, then we'll meet them in conference and we'll assess at that time. We've passed this 2 or 3 times, most recently in May. Look, do we like the individual mandate? Of course we don't like the individual mandate.
We did it. We got rid of it. We already did it in our bill. But if they're going to put it in there, then we'll consider it. So if they put it in there, we'll consider it. So this is one of these things where obviously Speaker Ryan doesn't oppose it, didn't want to put it in the House bill. The Senate has put it in theirs, and that's cool. However, ladies and gentlemen, buried in the article here on the CNBC story, Senate GOP tax reform bill seeks repeal of Obamacare individual mandate. Let me read to you a line, as I say, buried in the article. Senator Thune also said the deal that agreed upon is to pass that bill alongside another bill known as Alexander Murray, which would restore key federal subsidy reimbursements to Obamacare insurers cut off last month by President Trump. So, a little history. The Obamacare payoffs to the insurance companies in the form of subsidies were unconstitutional. They were illegal because that was federal spending which did not originate in the House of Representatives and thus was not in the legislation. It was Obama simply issuing executive order or executive action. And what had happened was that the premium prices in Obamacare for middle-class, lower-middle-class people were priced in such a way that insurance companies couldn't hope to even break even, much less make a profit. So in exchange for the insurance companies offering premium prices where they would lose money, Obama said, don't worry, I'll subsidize you. We'll get money from the Treasury. We will subsidize you insurance companies. Go ahead and offer voters the low premium so I get the credit for reducing costs. You go ahead and agree to price it where you lose money, and I'll subsidize you on the back end. And that's what happened. And that has been the way Obamacare has been functioning from the get-go. Now, those low prices are not low, but they're lower than they otherwise would have been. If the prices were from the get-go priced for the insurance companies to break even, make a profit, they would have really been unaffordable for most everybody. But the insurance companies, of course, you mean you're going to give us money? Obama said, that's right. They said, fine. So they lowered the prices, making it appear to be more affordable for middle and lower middle class people, of course, the poor, and Obama subsidized. Well, Trump came along after 9 months of patience, waiting for Congress to rid itself of Obamacare in general, to repeal it. When that had not happened, Trump's, okay, you know what? I'm going to get rid of these subsidies because I've got to kill this. This thing is going to implode. The way it's written, it will implode. And since Congress isn't going to get rid of it, I'm going to hasten the implosion. So he removed the subsidies. He took back the free money Obama was giving insurance companies. Move forward to the Senate tax bill. The Senate tax bill repeals the individual mandate. But another bill called Alexander-Murray features the reintroduction of subsidies to the insurance companies. Now, these would be legal if the House goes along with it, and if it's in legislation, it would then be legal. But the point is, the Republicans in the Senate want to find a way to continue or to reinstitute the kickbacks to the insurance companies. And so the play is, okay, we'll go along with your tax reform bill to an extent, they say to the House, and then they say, we'll even repeal the individual mandate. We'll take that burden away from you, so all you have to do is agree to it. But we're gonna put those subsidies back in. So that apparently is the fine print. Senator Thune told the Washington Post there are 50 Republican senators willing to support the mandate repealing tax reform bill, which would be enough to pass it, as long as Mike Pence is in there to break the tie, the vice president. Thune also said the deal, this is near the end, also said the deal agreed upon is to pass that bill alongside something called Alexander-Murray, which would restore key federal subsidy reimbursements to insurers cut off last month by President Trump. The Democrat leader, Chuck Schumer, was scornful of the Republican decision with the usual bromines or cutting taxes for the rich and so forth. But that's where we are on this. And admittedly, it's further down the road than people thought it would get. So we shall see. We'll be right back after this, folks. Hang in.
Rush 24/7. You never have to miss one word of the Rush Limbaugh Show. And now, new yearly members get Rush's exclusive tumbler. Sip from Rush's wisdom all day long with Rush 24/7 and Rush's exclusive tumbler.
It's our best tumbler yet. Check it out at rushlimbaugh.com.
You're listening to the EIB Network.
So what would you do with an extra $500 a month in your budget? $500. This isn't hypothetical, by the way. This is something you may need to think about very soon if you decide to become a member of MediShare. MediShare is a way to pay for your health care, and typically it costs $500 less per month for a family versus other health care plans. So seriously, think about this. You could pay off loans, pay down a mortgage, save the money for retirement, donate to charity. That would be a big deal. But you know what? Here's the best thing. MediShare works. It has 250,000 members, and it's growing fast. With MediShare, not only do you save, you don't have to pay for things you don't believe in either, and that is a beautiful thing, too. So here's how you can find out more, and you might actually wind up saving even more than $500 a month. So check into it. Here's the number. Call 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. Now available in Montana. Call 855-51-BIBLE.
Hi, I'm Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungessa. Louisiana is more than just a place to visit. It's our way of life, and that means being outdoors. Join the nearly 2 million people who camped, biked, paddled, and hiked our state parks last year, as we invite you to do the same. Every corner of Louisiana has something to offer, from the world-class fishing at Toledo Bend to paddling at Fountainwood, to exploring the ancient mounds at Poverty Point World Heritage Site. So fill up your car and staycation right here in our home, Louisiana.
Northwestern State Demon football plays here. Keep up with your Demons as they go through Southland Conference action on 101.7 FM and 710 Keel all season long. Also, stream the games online through the new Keel app and online at keelnews.com.
Be listening every Sunday morning at 8:30 to receive the Word of God direct from the Bible as preached at Houghton Baptist Temple. His Word is joyous and uplifting, and you're invited to listen right here on 101.7 FM and 710 Keel every Sunday morning at 8:30.
The #1 family show of 2016 is back and all new. Join Peppa, George, Mommy, and Daddy Pig in Peppa Pig's Surprise. November 28th, Shreveport Municipal Auditorium. It's full of sing-along songs, lots of fun, life-size puppets, and of course, plenty of big surprises in an all-new show. Reserved seats on sale now through Ticketmaster.com or by phone. VIP packages available. Peppa Pig Surprise. PeppaPigLive.com for more.
If I want to know what's happening in Shreveport, Bossier, and the world, I tune in to Robert and Aaron each weekday morning.
Wake up each morning with Robert and Aaron from 6 to 9 a.m. Breaking news and trending talk. 101.7 FM and 710 Keel. Breaking news and trending talk. We are 101.7 FM and 710 Keel. KeelNews.com. You're listening to Rush Limbaugh on 101.7 FM and 710 Keel.
Okay, back to the phones. We have time to squeeze one in here. It's Steve in Rochester, Minnesota. Great to have you with us, sir. How are you?
Hi, good. Thanks, Rush. Ditto's been listening since 1991. So I was reading through a Fox News story on the various senators, Republican senators, and their comments about this whole situation. And I read them one after another. There were many. And I was thinking as I got most of the way through it, this sounds a lot like your media montages vis-a-vis gravitas that I often hear on your show, that the similarities were striking in what they said. And it was an observation that led me to think that this is really a coordinated attack. And I think that should be the focus, not the he said, she said, but the fact that this guy's being attacked by the establishment big time.
Let me put it to you in a form of a question. Interesting observation, by the way, that you, in reading and listening to all of the different people opposing Judge Moore, they're all saying the same thing. Is that your point? Just like, you know, when Cheney was mentioned as the potential vice presidential nominee for George W. Bush, about 85 media people, that's gravitas. This is to provide gravitas. They all had that word. You think the same thing's happening here with the response to Judge Moore?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so do you think, let me just ask you point blank, do you think that whether he did it or not, he's being railroaded?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yep. I think this is a coordinated attack, and what spurred me to think this was your comments yesterday about Mitch McConnell attacking Bannon's choice. And I thought, how else could you do this?
Well, you know,
we are a month away from the election.
One thing about, let me tell you something. I don't think there's any doubt here. When Bannon went public and said that Judge Moore was the first of many candidates they're going to support in order to oust the Republican leadership, I don't think there's any question here that McConnell's reacting to that. Let me just ask you this. Have any of you do you ever remember Mitch McConnell or the Republican leadership ever going after a Democrat the way they're going after? You don't remember. McConnell, you don't remember McConnell ever going after a Democrat the way they're going. Okay. All right. Well, there's the ear-splitting tone. We got to take a break.
The power of information. Keel News now.
The Shreveport Council votes down a measure calling for a no-confidence vote on Chief Alan Crump. Councilman James Fleury says he's putting his faith in the mayor.
I've got confidence in Mayor Tyler that she will guide this as though he might be a principal in a school that maybe needs some help. But I believe we ought to give him an opportunity and her an opportunity to work with him about his metrics and work with him and to be a better communicator.
The measure failed 3-2. The gunman behind a rampage in Northern California was out on bail after being charged with stabbing a neighbor and had been the subject of a domestic violence call the day before. Neighbors also said they repeatedly reported to police that he'd been firing off hundreds of rounds. Yet Kevin Neal was free and able to use a semi-automatic rifle and 2 handguns to shoot 14 people, killing 4 of them. Scientists for the first time have tried gene editing inside the body. It's a bold attempt to permanently change a person's DNA to try to cure a disease. I'm Erin McCarty from 101.7 FM and 710 Keel.
Hiring is important, but finding the right people can be a real challenge. That's why ZipRecruiter is obsessed with finding you qualified candidates fast. ZipRecruiter finds candidates with the right experience and notifies them to apply for your job. No wonder 80% of employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within just 1 day. The right candidates are out there. This is how you find them. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
To try ZipRecruiter for free, just go to ZipRecruiter.com/talk. That's ZipRecruiter.com/talk.
Hurry, hurry, hurry. The big talks from the Tops Western World, Bossier City. Tops Western World's famous fall barn sale is on. You'll find incredible savings in the barn, like ladies' boots starting at $45 a pair. All straw hats now 25% off. And Tops has brought back the $20 clothing and shirt racks. Tops Western World's famous fall barn sale. Next to Tops Trailers and Ramada Inn, just off Industrial Exit I-20, Bossier City. Tops fall barn sale.
Shreveport Bossier's home for breaking news and trending talk. 101.7 FM and 710 Keel. KeelNews.com.
From the Fox Business Network, stocks are lower in afternoon trading, with tech companies and banks suffering the biggest losses, and shares of General Electric bouncing back today after the 12.5% plunge in the past 2 sessions to a 6-year low. And Richard Cordray, the director of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, will be stepping down by the end of the month. There has been growing speculation he will run for governor of Ohio. His departure would allow President Trump to appoint a new director. And retail sales rising at a solid clip as shoppers bought more cars cars, furniture, and clothes. The Commerce Department says retail sales increased 0.2% in October after a healthy gain in September. Economists say the data points to stronger consumer spending in coming months, including the critical holiday shopping season. Americans are spending more freely as confidence in the economy has jumped in the past year, and the unemployment rate is at a 17-year low. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Hillary Barsky.
Friends, are you taking Viagra for ED? Well, you could be paying too much. Now you can take sildenafil, the active ingredient in Viagra, for just $2 per tablet. $2 for a 20-milligram tablet, saving $40 per dose. Marley Drug is a North Carolina pharmacy delivering sildenafil to your doorstep. Go to marleygenerics.com. That's M-A-R-L-E-Y, marleygenerics.com. Or call 1-800-452-1760. That's 1-800-452-1760.
Rush is on 101.7 FM and 710 Keel.
Trump, as part of his diplomatic efforts there, got them released. And apparently they haven't said thank you. And so Trump is publicly saying, are these UCLA players going to thank me for getting them out? And people are saying, that's so unpresidential. He should be above it. He shouldn't be requiring young children to have the knowledge that and maybe they're not Trump supporters anyway, so why should they thank him? But the drive-bys are all over this, as though it's some kind of controversy that Trump is asking whether or not these three basketball players will thank him for springing them out of jail. Now, yesterday in the first hour of the program, I purposely talked about Trump's trip to Asia. It was my belief, yesterday it is today too, that Trump's trip was a profound success. And it was a resounding success on many levels. And I focused on the skill that President Trump brought to the negotiating table with the Chi-Coms. And I'm not going to rehash it all, but just to refresh your memory, I highlighted the technique necessary to successfully negotiate with Chi-Coms. They are not like us. They are not, Western civilization, Western culture is not theirs. This is not a criticism, it's an acknowledgement. Whereas we, in negotiating with ourselves or with other foreign countries, we have a belief system of mutual agreement, even if both sides remain unhappy when the deal's over. And it's often said, in fact, that a really good deal is when both sides are unhappy. Which means that both sides got something the other side wasn't prepared to give, and that means it's good. It's good when you don't get everything you want. That would be selfish and unfair, and this has been an established negotiating tactic. It's part of our culture. I'm not putting it down. I'm not praising it. I'm just pointing it out. But the Chinese are totally different. They don't have anything like that attitudinally. They don't go into negotiations, whatever it is, negotiating human rights, civil rights, abuses, foreign trade deals. If it doesn't benefit China, they're not going to do it. If it's not something that they can claim is a victory, they're not going to do it. You can chalk it up to the need for self-esteem and respect. Whatever the psychological reasoning behind it, the Chinese literally do not have in their thinking vocabulary the idea that a deal is good if both sides are unhappy with it. In the Chinese world of negotiating, you don't do it if you're going to be unhappy with it when it's over. So you have to know that going in when you're going to start doing deals with the Chi-Coms. And Remember, during the campaign, Trump did nothing but beat them up. So for 2 years, the Chi-Coms listened to Trump beat them up. Talked to them about how they are unfair, how they are cheaters, how they are currency manipulators. And so 2 years of that, and the Chi-Coms think they are ready for what's coming from Trump. When in fact, Trump, if he thought that he was going to be elected president, was already beginning his negotiations by starting out with the outrageous. His technique is ask for 3 times what you'll settle for. Ask for 3 times what you really want. It's the only way to get what you really want. You have to be able to appear to be coming down. You have to appear to be able to be throwing things out, things that you want, in order to get what you want. So you start 3 times higher. But Trump also knew that whatever it was, the Chinese, when it was over, had to think they won. The Chinese had to think that, on balance, it was a good deal for them. And here is how I explained it on the program yesterday. North Korea is the elephant in the room. Trump wants help from Xi Jinping on neutralizing Kim Jong-un. But Xi Jinping's got no interest in doing that for the sake of humanity, for the betterment of the world. If getting rid of the North Koreans doesn't benefit the Chinese, to hell with it. He doesn't care the instability of the world, except as it might affect China. So that's the key. So you have to appeal to the Chinese on the basis that, look, I want to make a new trade deal with you. Now, remember, Trump started out on the campaign trail telling us he's going to be tough. The Chi-Coms have been getting away with murder because Americans are so stupid. But those days are over. The free ride of the Chinese is over. So they've been hearing that for 2 years. So they're expecting Trump to come in and strip everything away, take away all the benefits they have, all the advantages. He didn't do that. He gave them favorable trade deals, but they have to help us with Kim Jong-un. So neutralizing Kim Jong-un then equals a benefit to the Chi-Coms. Right. Remember now, the Chinese went to them, the North Koreans, doing something that might neutralize the North Koreans or mitigate them. It's not about making the world safer. It's not about humanity. It's not about right and wrong with the Chinese. It's all about, when this is all over, do we benefit? Do we win? And Trump realized that the Chinese are not going to make the North Koreans more important than themselves. What Trump wanted was more favorable trade deals with them. They were afraid Trump was going to start from scratch and be really tough. That was not Trump's starting position. Trump gave them very favorable deals that they could claim were a win for them. But the price was weighing in on the North Koreans. So, this morning on CNN's New Day, the co-host is Fredo Cuomo, and he's talking to the former NSA director, Michael Hayden. I think Hayden was also at CIA. But regardless, he's not a Trump fan. Hayden has never been a big Trumpist, more like a never-Trumper. So Fredo says to Michael Hayden, China is sending a special envoy to North Korea this week. The president has repeatedly called on China to put more pressure on North Korea over its nuke program. Mr. Hayden, is this proof of progress? Should we see this development as a reflection of Trump's effectiveness?
I think the timing suggests that's true. So you've got a bit of a ray of light, maybe a breath of fresh air here. Are the Chinese trying to amp up their pressure on the North Koreans? I think we can rely on them to amp up the pressure a bit, to have Kim the youngest tone down the rhetoric, maybe stop testing for a while. This is pass-fail for Kim Jong-un. This is about his and his regime's survival.
Well, bingo! Did I not lay it all out for you yesterday? Not to be braggadocious, don't misunderstand, but that's been the first hour on this, the first half hour, essentially, and this is why. Because this is a huge deal, and you're not going to see Trump credited. You're not going to see anything of the sort. All you're going to see is Trump's unfit. Trump has no business being president. Trump doesn't even know who these people are. Trump has no business talking to Chi-Coms. Trump has no business in North Korea. All he does is insult the North Korean guy as short and fat. We can't have that. Some president when in truth, Trump succeeded in getting Xi Jinping to tell the short, fat, little pot-bellied dictator in North Korea to dial it back. Now, we'll see if it actually happens. But it's in China's benefit to do it. China is not going to allow North Korean interests to supersede its own. Now, if Trump had gone over there and in a very bellicose manner demanded that Xi Jinping tone down that guy or else, it would have been an abysmal failure. The Chinese reaction was, you don't come over here and tell us what to do. That's our ally. Screw you, in diplomatic language. But that isn't what Trump did. Trump gave them something that they didn't think they were going to get, trade-wise, that constituted, in their way of thinking, a win. So now it's in their best interests to dial back North Korea in order to maintain this newfound good relationship that China has with the Trump administration. It was really, really, you have to say, well done. And as I say, I doubt you're going to hear this perspective of this. I mean, even Hayden here, in his answer, was very begrudging. Well, I think the timing suggests, yes, that's true. President was effective. So you have a bit of a rail light. You had to admit it because it is true. So that's that. Now, we'll take a break here, come back with... well, we're either going to get back to the phones or we're going to return to the fertile ground of sexual perversion and harassment and abuse in the world of politics and entertainment. Do not go away.
Rush Limbaugh, bringing America the truth on the EIB network.
Hi, I'm Kyle Cox, owner of Blindster.com, blindster.com, a family-owned business. 18 years ago, my wife Susan and I moved into a new home and needed new custom blinds. We received several quotes from professionals and couldn't believe their high prices. We went shopping on the internet, and the websites were confusing and offered no guarantees. That's when I decided, with no experience in the e-commerce or window covering industry, to quit my job and start a business selling custom blinds on the internet. The company grew to over $20 million in less than 5 years, and at 35 years old, I sold the business. But thankfully, just a few years later, I decided to give it another go, and Blindster.com was born. At Blindster, we provide world-class customer service and the best guarantees in the industry with a 60-day satisfaction guarantee, a limited lifetime warranty, and my personal fitter-free guarantee on most products. And for Rush listeners only, take 40% off your order. Just enter the code RUSH at checkout. Blindster.com. Blindster.com.
If you're a CPAP user, soap and water cleaning may leave harmful bacteria, viruses, and mold that can make you sick. That alone will keep you up at night. Until now, SoClean.com is the world's first and only automated, hands-free CPAP cleaner and sanitizer. SoClean kills 99.9% of all CPAP germs without soap, water, harsh chemicals, or even equipment disassembly. And now, you can try it risk-free for 30 days. Call 1-800-719-8989.
SoClean changed the CPAP experience for the better. My health has improved. It's simple to use, and I'm not worried about infections.
SoClean's revolutionary design makes it easy to clean your CPAP and protect you against CPAP-related illnesses. Plus, SoClean works with all popular CPAP devices to clean them in minutes. It really is that easy. Don't risk your health. Call SoClean.com now to try it risk-free for 30 days. Call 1-800-719-8989. This offer won't last. Call now. 800-719-8989. 800-719-8989.
The holidays are coming to Louisiana Power Sports and RV Center.
Santa Jimmy Claus is busy. He's loading his flying side-by-side with huge rebates on all remaining 2017 Polaris models. Come on, it's the holidays, and look what's under the tree.
Wrap up a new Polaris for Christmas from Louisiana Power Sports and RV Center, 3715 Benton Road in Bossier City.
ATVCB has no models for riders 16 and over. Wear a helmet and take training.
Louisiana Power Sports. Get ready to ride.
LAPowersportsRV.com.
What's the best way to start your day? If you said with a clean office, then you must be a Janet King customer, and we want to thank you. If your office, surgery center, school, or building isn't the cleanest it can be, then it's time to put the King of Clean to work for you. Go to janetking.com for any size business, big or small. No matter how big the mess is, Janet King can handle it. One of our offices is probably just minutes from yours. Go to JANIking.com today and let us start cleaning for you tomorrow.
Janet King, the King of Clean. Rush is on 101.7 FM and 710 Keel.
Yes, sir. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. El Rushbo, immensely enjoying my time with the audience. It's another way of saying doing the show today. 800-282-2882 if you want to join us. Here's Rich in Racine, Wisconsin. Great to have you, sir. How are you?
I'm doing fabulous, boss. How you doing today?
Fine and dandy. Thank you for asking.
I live in the heartland of, Mid-America. Paul Ryan's my representative, which means I have no representation at all, so...
No.
You gave me a good piece of information that they're trying to, put that in where they're going to reimburse the insurance companies. And that just doesn't, just doesn't seem right.
Wait. It's not Ryan, though. That's a Senate provision that they're going to...
Oh, believe me, they're going to try to use that as a negotiating tip.
Okay.
They're not as good as Donald at getting the best end of a deal. I'm just not that confident that they're going to walk away. They're going to screw it up. In my humble opinion, I think they're going to blow this. I don't have and right down to everything that's going on with the Alabama election.
Wait. They're going to blow what?
Tax reform. I don't think they're going to do it. I think they're going to choke. Something's going to go wrong. I think Mitch is... honestly, I don't think he wants to be on the Trump team.
Who? Ryan?
And Ryan, I think he's gotten... Actually, I think he might have got the word because it got to the point where I got on a first-name basis with the guy at his office because people from his district are constantly calling everybody I talk to isn't happy with our representation. I mean, just the way things are going.
Okay, I misheard. You said it's Mitch that you don't think wants Trump to win. But you realize what'll happen if they don't get this done, right?
Honestly, I don't believe they want to run it. I don't. I think they're all in this all together. I think that the establishment takes care of the establishment. I think if it wasn't for you and Sean and Mark Levin and others, we would be on our own out here.
Well, here's the thing. If they don't do this, if this doesn't get done, they are in really big trouble in 2018. And a lot of these guys, in order to stay in the establishment, they have to win elections. Not everybody in the establishment has to win elections, but members of the House and the Senate, they have to. And if they don't get this done after the year that they've had, if this doesn't happen, or if it happens and if it ends up not being at all what they are saying it is, there's going to be hell to pay at the ballot box in 2018. And I think they know this. They have stalled and they've delayed throughout the whole year on Obamacare. It's an entitlement, and I don't think they ever wanted to take that away. I don't think the Republicans ever want to be the ones go down in history and take money away from the poor. It's the way it'd be treated. It's the way it'd be reported. But tax reform, that's a Republican signature issue. That's a Republican signature ID issue. They've got to do this. But let me tell you something I heard and numerous places. Last night there was a town hall meeting on the Fox News channel. And Paul Ryan, your representative, was one of the roundtable guests or one of the town hall guests. And as you know, when I had him interviewed here, was interviewing him, I said, what's one takeaway? What should people know about it? It's a tax cut, Rush. It's a tax cut for the American people. Well, some people have taken the guts of the deal, and they have been measuring various aspects of the tax reform plan with real-life circumstances. And they have found some middle-class people, I forget the exact example, but somebody, a husband and wife make $127,000, 3 kids in school, da-da-da-da-da. They have found some examples, and Ryan was hit with this last night, where these families are going to have, at the end of it all, a tax increase. They're going to be paying more than they're paying now. And Ryan's answer was, well, you may be able to find some of those, but I'm telling you, he insisted, the average American, everybody going to get a tax cut. You may be able to find an odd example here or there where it may not be the case. So he acknowledged that there might be some outlier cases where people will end up paying more even after getting a rate reduction, and it all has to do with the deductibility of property taxes and state and local taxes and some other things. But the point of this is that not everybody is going to get a tax cut, or not everybody is going to be paying less. That would be the more accurate way of saying this. And I don't think there's any excuse for that. And you know why this is the case? The reason why is because we have to find a way to pay for it. I would maintain to you that in terms of real dollars and cents, if Washington finds a way to quote-unquote pay for this tax cut, then there isn't a tax cut. If, when this is over, Washington collects the same amount of money from the same number of people, how can there have been a tax cut? I'm getting perplexed looks, so let me explain this in a moment.
In times like these, we need him more than ever. Rush on the EIB network.
If you want to protect your home this holiday season, you can. You can get early access to Simply Safe's biggest Black Friday sale ever. Get $200 off the holiday security system. Simply Safe makes home security effortless. No long-term contracts, no hidden fees. Check it out. Simply Safe's special pre-holiday sale at simplysafeusa.com. It's for a limited time only, folks. That's simplysafeusa.com. $200 off.
Mike and I went on our honeymoon to Maui, and it was amazing. We were like, let's move here. So we bought a timeshare there. In 2015, we were expecting our firstborn child, and it became a lot of work just to get out of the house, let alone to Maui.
Finally, one of Kelly's friends told us about the timeshare exit team.
They were amazing. So now we can go on other vacations and not have to worry about money spent on a timeshare.
Time changes everything. Call Timeshare Exit Team today at 844-321-EXIT. 844-321-EXIT. TimeshareExitTeam.com.
Arklatex residents, listen carefully. Soul Construction is proud to announce their newest creation, Best Paving and Concrete. Soul Construction and its subsidiary, Best Paving and Concrete, is licensed, bonded, and insured. Any complete construction, remodeling, and or development job you might need, residential and commercial, call 639-9513. If you hear this commercial, we service your area. Best Paving and Concrete, a subsidiary of Soul Construction.
CADA provides high-quality, affordable addiction treatment. They have 14 treatment programs for people from all walks of life.
I've been through drug court and other programs. I was lost and angry, full of guilt and shame. I was very broken. CADA taught me the life skills that I needed to get sober. So if you're out there and you feel like you need help, contact CADA. They are there to help you get to where you need to be.
Offering healing, hope, and happiness from addiction and despair. For more information, visit cadanwla.org.
Something fruity or candy.
It tastes like a mojito. I like green tea or cherry. I want something like real tobacco.
Fill it to the top of my Sawbone tank. Declare your independence with Great American Vape.
And work lights.
When I'm drinking. When I'm feeling sad. I simply take a pull from my favorite vape. And then I don't feel so bad.
Declare your independence with Great American Vapes, East 70th in Shreveport and East Texas in Bossier.
I
I need an oil change, but I have no time to take my car in.
But how can I get new tires and my oil changed all in the same day?
Seriously, what would we do without Blake's Brakes and Tires?
It's a bird.
Nah, man. That's just Blake.
It's a plane.
Dude, it's a truck and a trailer. It's just Blake the tire guy.
Oh, of course. Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah, Blake's Brakes and Tires. He comes to you. You don't have to leave your house or work. It's a mobile tire shop.
BlakesBrakesandTires.com. Find him on Facebook. Blake's Brakes and Tires.
You're listening to Rush Limbaugh on 101.7 FM and 710 Keel.
From the UK Guardian, climate action. Global climate action must be gender equal. Women bear the heaviest brunt of global warming and are less empowered to contribute solutions. I bet you can't wait to hear the details of this collection of absolute BS. And I have it for you when we get back.
'Tis the stuffing season. You'll stuff your turkey. You'll stuff yourself. So why not stuff your wallet with huge holiday savings from Ray Ford? All month long, get Black Friday deals on our entire inventory.